All right, folks, my name is Benjamin Bond. I'm a finance and mortgage broker, and I have seen people work with money really well, and I've seen people work with money really poorly. Now, today we are going to look at what all of the elite money managers are doing, and that is budget. Now, a budget, it helps us answer the question, what is happening with my money? Without knowing that answer, you will get pushed to and fro by the wind. Okay, so we'll answer that question and it'll allow you to take control of your financial future. So to do that, we need a visualization system to sort of capture our budget, to show it to us. And we also need data. So they're the two things that we're going to go through now. All right, so here we have a budgeting spreadsheet, one I put together, and you can access it. I'll provide a link somewhere on our website. You'll be able to see it, probably in the caption. Now here you have our surplus or shortfall. This is the number that we ultimately want to find. But remember, the point of the budget also is to answer the question, what's happening with my money? So we head down here to monthly net income. In this section here, we're going to populate all of our different income types. You'll see the monthly expenses. This will autofill after we input the data in our expenses tab. Okay, so there's a few ways that you can collect the data you need. The first is you can just go and guess. Don't recommend that. It will be wrong. You are spending so much more than you think you are. Second way, you can go and track it week by week. Every expense you do, write it down, make a log, whatever it is. I actually like that method because it really brings home the amount of spending we're doing. The third way, you'll have banking apps which track and categorize your expenses. Now, it can be good, but chances are you have multiple accounts, potentially with different banks. So you have to manually go and add up each one, and that is a bit more time consuming. What I recommend is Frollo. It's a bit of software, open banking. It's highly secure. It's very, very commonly used across the finance and broking circles. All the major lenders, in fact, nearly every lender is accepting Frollo as a way of looking at client data. So what it is, it's a platform where you connect each of your accounts, okay, and then it summarizes it, groups it all perfectly, categorizes it wonderfully, and you can then sort of look at the expense and then chuck in your budget. Look at the expense, chuck in your budget. So I'll go through that now. So you can set up your own account, Frollo for you, open it up, follow the prompts to connect to different accounts, and after you've done that, you'll be able to log in to your Frollo platform to see all of your expenses. Now, this is mine. But what I want you to go to, check out these tabs, but go to Financial Passport, and we're going to download, say, a 3-month insight passport to your expenses, and we'll also download a transaction report over the last 3 months. It's important we do both of those. So you open it up, and this is, say, an income section of that report. So you'll see your employment income up here. You'll also see all other forms of income, and we're going to grab that info. We're going to go to the income tab. We're going to plug it in. Okay, got your salary, your partner's salary, rental income, and your business income. The next step is in that same report to go down to liabilities. Now in here, you'll see, say, your mortgages that you're paying or any sort of personal loans or whatever it is. And you want to grab the minimum monthly repayment, check out what it is, go back to your budget, down to expenses, and you can input those expenses in the relevant section. Then we go to this is more the everyday expense breakdown. And you can see here these categories. So clothing and personal care, groceries, medical and health, pet care, you name it, it's all down there. Okay, so you can grab that amount, say clothing and personal care per month, 100, or groceries, I have 1,500 here. And again, go across to your budget, find the relevant category and plug it in. There's one thing to point out here, and that is you'll have a other expenses or other discretionary expenses category. Now, in all of these online systems, it's impossible to categorize everything correctly. So if it's unknown, if it's not clear, they'll have this expense category here. And this is why we downloaded the transaction report. Now, it's not too tricky, but we're going to jump into that now, and we're going to go look at each of those expenses. All right, so now we have the transaction history. All of my different bank accounts are all coming to this one section, and you can see them all listed there. Now, we're going to make life easier. We're going to look at 1 month, the previous month, to see how much expenses we've had. Now, all these expenses have been caught and captured in that previous PDF, but we want to break down the other discretionary expenses. So to do that, we'll go to date, and all we want is, say, May. So apply that filter. Now, apply online categories, go there, and we want to deselect all of these except for other discretionary. So just walk through one at a time. Look at it. I've got mortgage repayment there. We've got some, so Big W, general merchandise clothing, add that in. Some Amazon payments, Kmart purchases. These are for the house. And so I'm going to look at it and I'm going to keep a tally of what it's for. I'm just going to go back to my budget spreadsheet and just update the item. Okay. If you get enough things that if you get a few categories, you're not sure what it is, just chuck it into other expenses. Okay, now you've successfully captured all of your expense information and you've got all your income information into a spreadsheet. Now I'm going to populate this one now, and I'm going to pause the video just so you're not wasting 10 minutes of your life watching me do that. All right, so now I've gone and populated all of the expense items for 1 month. Jump across to the income and surplus tab, and you can see I've inputted all of the income. So here I would say one partner's income of say 110,000 per year. So after tax, how much is that per month? Around 7,000. And a partner's salary of around $45,000 after tax, around that much. And I put some business money, $500 a month. You modify this as works for you. So you can see total income here, which would be net, is 10,000. Now it's populated. So our surplus now in June, actually I've changed it from June because that's where we are now, and pushed it out for 12 months. So June, our expenses, or our income, I should say, our income minus our expenses gives us a surplus of 4,291. Now, the fun part is we can just push out our current budget and push it out for the whole year to see what our total yearly surplus would be. Now, you can see here that if we add up all of our surplus in this made up example, we potentially have, up here, $51,000 in surplus savings that you could put towards house deposit, investment, whatever it is. And one thing I didn't show before is with each of these budgeting systems, you want to have a goal. And so set a short, medium, long-term goal. In this situation, the long-term goal is to create, say, $110,000 of savings to use as a house deposit by 2030. Very doable. To build a $10,000 buffer for financial security by the end of the year, very doable. And to set up automated savings. Now, automated savings, that is the next step. All right, so you've got your goals set, you know your surplus because you've done your budget, and now it's time to actually automate it because you will fall to the level of your systems. So we are creatures of habit. Unless it is set up that your savings that you've worked out is your surplus is automated, you will 100% not do it. You will not reach your financial goal. So there's a very simple system of how to do it. First of all, you have your money that comes in, okay? This is your income. It goes straight to your bank account. Okay, and from there, we set up an automation, your surplus amount each month. You can work out whatever the fortnightly difference is, and you send it straight to your high interest savings account. Look around at different banks. Do not stick with your own bank. Chances are there is a better option out there for you. Next, after that's being automated, your everyday spending money. It doesn't matter if you have a transaction card tied to it, if you have a credit card that you auto sweep, it doesn't matter because you have set up your automated savings capture mechanism. And that's what we really want. If you do want to be fancy and you want to have a credit card system set up and auto sweep it, tied to an offset account, whatever you want, you can do that. But for the everyday person, we want to work out what our surplus is. And we want to make sure we're automating that and capturing that each and every fortnight or month. All right, so best of luck reaching your financial goals. I'm a finance and mortgage broker, and we go through this exact process with our clients to work out expenses, income, all in light of working out how much your borrowing power is. So if you're looking for a home, feel free to reach out.